the debate. We're done for the next question, which is for Mr. Harrington. Right or wrong, the mayor becomes the spokesperson and the face for the city. But as you know, this is a strong council, weak mayor form of government, meaning the council runs the city, not the mayor. Yet, you've taken a lot of criticism for various issues, such as this one. Is too much expected of the mayor and not enough from the city council?
No, I don't believe so. I think that the city government, under our form of city government, it's a partnership. Although the city council has broad powers and controls, I think that it's clear that if you don't have a mayor that's working with the city council, then nothing gets done. The city council doesn't have the authority to appropriate money. Only the mayor has that authority, so that they have to go and get those monies. We have to get it approved by the city council, but they can't go up and say, we're going to spend money on something without getting the mayor to appropriate it. So I think what you do is you bring a really good point here, though, is that you need to understand the form of government. I mean, I hear some of the things that my opponent's proposing that he's going to do when he's elected mayor, if he's ever elected mayor, and what he says is that he's going to do these things. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, he can't do them, because that 11-member body is going to make those final decisions. And to go out and recruit people to run against them certainly is going to put you in good stead against them if you ever were elected.
I absolutely agree. I think that there's great opportunity in having two bodies in our government that are strong, that are vigorous about ideas. I think both institutions on both sides of our government should actually push to make certain that we don't become stagnant, that we're listening, that we're connected and in touch with the residents. I mean, that's what good government is all about. And certainly the mayor sets priorities, and not, at least in terms of budgets, and not the city council. And so much of what is done and proposed comes from the mayor's office. And if little is being done, then I put that squarely on the shoulders of the mayor for not setting priorities and pushing agendas that are relevant for our neighborhoods. Certainly, I mean, you may be aware that SEIU, workers who are in City Hall, cafeteria workers, like folks who work at the library and the housing authority, have endorsed my campaign for mayor. So the mayor's own employees have placed their confidence in me. I certainly believe it's important to work with my colleagues in the city council. But clearly, you can't get anything done if your own employees have a lack of confidence in your leadership. Concerning the new leadership fund, I mean, the mayor has on his chest the stars and stripes, and so I'm hoping he's not suggesting that it's anti-democratic to make certain that elected officials have competition, because that's what democracy is about. And I think it's important that we make sure.
I've stopped timing then. I'm not timing your applause. And the red light is on.
But I think it's really important to make certain that we have contested races, that we make certain that incumbents understand that they're not in a position that they own, but they have to earn those positions. And in many cases, we've seen or forgotten that very important fact and very important democracy piece here in Brockton. So I'm very proud of the work I've done with the New Leadership Fund. I'm also very proud of the relationships I have with those on the city council at the moment. Majority of the city councils and I have good relationships.
Thank you. You didn't mention, when you talk about the city councils, we also have 7 members in the school committee. We also are in the decision-making process, and we have to work with them. I think that there are people, city employees, who won't be voting for me. And I understand that, because I've had to make some tough decisions around our budget. In particular, if you want, since Mr. Stewart brought it up, let's talk about the cafeteria workers. We had the cafeteria was in the hole, $650,000, and we had to do something. We had to make a move. So we brought in an outside company to manage that system. And some of the employees resent that. Some of the employees are complaining that they're making them work too hard. Well, we had no choice. It was either get rid of all of them and bring in a private company or bring in somebody to manage it. And I respect the employees, and I don't have any problem with them being against me, but to say it's some kind of badge of courage for you, Mr. Stewart, I would suggest that it's not, because when you're in this position, there are tough decisions that you're going to have to make, The first year, we cut $3 million in the budget. The second year, we cut $5 million. So in order to make those cuts, you're going to make some people unhappy. So you better get used to it. And the fact that somebody would not be in favor of me, I mean, I think they supported you the last time when you ran, and I wasn't the mayor then either. So
That's time, Mr. Harrington.
thank you.
Can I respond? The mayor talks a lot about making tough decisions. It'd be interesting to hear him talk more about making good decisions. There's a big difference. The fact that those employees, that department was in a $600,000 deficit, and it speaks a bit to the mayor's oversight. Because the job of the city council, working in partnership with the school committee and the mayor, to make sure that those kind of deficits don't happen. So we're constantly dealing with problems when they reach the magnitude where you're forced to deal with them versus being proactive. And that's been, unfortunately, the history of this mayor. I'd say that I also would question that you have the department heads at City Hall, you have the librarians, you have individuals in the housing department who endorsed my campaign, my candidacy. So I think it's a bit disingenuous to say that because folks are supporting my candidacy is because you made some tough or bad decisions. It has anything to do with the kind of leadership that people want in the city, so that they're inspired to do great and greater things, and not to see themselves as in a place in the box, which this mayor really loves to place people in. We need some leadership with creativity that can tap into resources, that can grow the pie. Because if you can't grow the pie, we're in a position of constantly in a position of cutting, and that's where the mayor unfortunately places us in every single debate and in his thinking.
That's time, Mr. Stewart. Thank you.
Yeah, let me just, I just want to have 1 minute to respond. I want to make just sure that we're clear here. Now, this is another one of those issues where you said I had nothing to do with these things when it was a good thing. Well, you said I had nothing to do. The superintendent makes all the decisions, and that I had nothing to do with anything that happens in the school department. That deficit was there long before I was mayor. I dealt with it. I worked with the school committee and the superintendent to fix the problem. That's what you do as an executive.